Little Nopon, I think you better move. You are in the way of the queen. She does not have time for your goonage. We have to move forward to the future. Hey everyone, welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. In last episode, we kind of went on a tangent and just talked about the ending of this game and everything that it entailed. Good, bad, indifferent, either way, it was full of discussion. Things were said, things were explained, and things were criticized. But anyway though, this episode though, we are, if you look the title of, well not the title, but the episode number, you would see that there is definitely a emphasis on a particular number. Right as soon as my wife decides what she wants to eat, the answer is nothing! Either way, it is time. She's maxed out. We're all good to go.
Okay, so what we got next?
Good question. Nia, anyway, you still want to go?
Well, if you're asking me to choose, then I may have to ask your advice first. Sure, I hope we can give you a decent answer. In all the places you guys have been so far, was there ever a place where you could look up at the sky up close? Almost touch it.
But what do you mean, close to the sky?
I guess it means, like, have you ever been to the highest place in the world, right? The highest place, have we? Maybe, maybe not.
Is that where you'd like to go, Nia?
Yes, I mean, I don't have any really major reason for it, but just when you asked where I wanted to go, that was the first thing that popped into my head. What, the sky, you mean? Maybe when I look up at the sky, I just long to go back there, a sort of nostalgia.
Well, if that's what you want, then why don't we try and find a high place for you?
Oh, really? You're good with that? I'm cool with it. Anyway, it's me who brought up this whole where do you want to go chat in the first place. If there's a way up there, skyscraping place like that, I'd love to check it out myself. You guys, thank you so much. I guess I'm counting on you all over again. Let's find it together then, the place where we'll be close enough to touch the sky.
At least she doesn't want to go beyond it.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
On with our journey.
If it's referencing what I think it's referencing, then you know what? Odd place to start. But we have many ideas on high places. Like it could be the distant fingertip. It could be the skyscrapers near Colony Tau. Hell, it could even be back to the Cloud Key because that is pretty much in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess no. She wants to go down to the cavity.
Something so valuable.
Not a place I would say to be the sky, but okay. I mean, technically, anything could be considered the sky. I mean, for example, our height compared to like an insect, we live in the sky. And think about birds. Yeah, sure, to us, they fly in the sky, but how do they think airplanes go? There's always a level above, but there's always sky above sky, depending on your perception. Then, of course, you know, you have the British TV channels and whatnot, but you know, that's besides the point. But man, I want to see this. Nia being nostalgic for times past by. Will she miss kids? Will she miss whips? Will she miss Nopon who has needs? Or does she miss a one-eyed monster? Who knows? Either way, I'm pretty sure she does not miss that asshole.
such a blue sky. Though the world changes, no matter what form it may take, the sky up there, it stays the same. Thank you. I'm grateful to all of you. It's kind of you to indulge me like this.
No, it's fine. Don't forget, asking you along was our idea.
I'm pleased you all became Ouroboros. I'm glad that you did.
Nia, what's gotten into you? Why are you saying this now?
When this battle is over, the stationary worlds will move once again. When the worlds were divided, they knew nothing of each other. In the end, they'll be strangers once again. Perfectly ignorant. As will we. Even so, I wanted to make a memory. The day when we part for good, it's coming. But still, I wanted us to share this moment. I wanted to feel that special connection, those ties that bind us together. Not just as your queen, but also as your friend.
Nia.
So just... thank you. In the end, it's up to you. My hope is invested in your future. You must defeat Zed and make a better world with your own hands.
Hey, that's not quite right.
Huh?
That better world. You'll be building it together with us, Nia.
You mean...
I mean, even if we do get separated, someday we'll see each other again. We want you with us, Nia, in that future. How could we not? We need you. Rather, please stay. Because the connection we share, Nia, that's something that can never be broken.
Mio. I mean, if that's the future that you want... No, let me try that again. That future, I'll share it with you. It's not just yours, it's our future we'll invest in. For that, we need this world to end. Until that time.
Yeah. We'll be by your side until then, Nia.
And just like that, Nia gets her ascend engine rates level 20.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say was not expecting that?
No.
Was definitely not meaning for it to be so short, sweet, and so simple, but you know. I mean, Jesus.
Someone seems up for a scrap.
It's... Man, I have so many mixed feelings.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Nia would show her true self. Like, she would get comfortable enough to do that. But I guess that's probably just me hoping that she would break character's queen. It's probably not realistic.
I was kind of... For me, during that campsite cutscene, she said she was feeling nostalgic. Kind of wish we got story on what she was nostalgic for.
Maybe the world tree, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, but it couldn't be like Melia, in which she says, oh, the people who I was with once. You know, adventure, action, lessons, bonding. I had it all, essentially. Something like that. And man, can I say, this is something I need to bring up because it's a two-way street for me. This is one of the reasons why we opted to do as many of the side quests that we could before going to Zed and Origin. Because for me, we were tying up loose ends. We were prepping the world and every colony and every person for like changes coming. the world is different and it's going to keep on changing, so you guys need to fix and change ways because this is going to be a better world and all that jazz. So, all well and good. But these particular side quests with Melia and Nia, especially Nia's especially, how does it make any sense regarding the narrative? Because, let me explain. When you play the base game for the first time, you can't get Melia and Nia.
Yeah.
Only in New Game Plus, only after you've beat the main story, you've seen what's going to become of the world, only then can you go back after the main ending and then get Melia and Nia. But yet Nia talks about, once this final battle is over, which you would have already seen because how are you viewing this cutscene?
Yeah.
And then it has the ball to say, yeah, the world, they're going to be separate. You guys are not going to remember each other.
Yeah, that really rubbed me the wrong way because that's exactly what we talked about last episode. It's like, they don't remember each other, and then now we're getting context after we've beaten the game. It would have been nice to hear that when we were talking to me initially.
Here's the thing, and this is coming from Xenoblade 2. This is coming from Xenoblade 2. In which the ending of that game is like, oh my god, Pyra and Mithra, will they remember Rex or whatnot?
Yeah.
But yet Xenoblade 2 brought up that question, but then said, oh don't worry, Pyra and Mithra, they remember Rex, it's all good.
Come after me, and that's what you get.
Xenoblade 3 is not going to do it. It's not going to have a scene in which you say, oh wow, they remember each other. That's kind of cool, That's what they thought was going to happen. But, it's going to be a nice little bow. We're not going to explain why, but, just to make you guys feel good. It's such a mishmash, and it's not paced well. Again, it's just in the wrong place. I cannot understand why they hid Melia and Nia after you beat the base game. It takes the gravitas out of the way when you say, it's before this final fight. Even though you've already had the final fight, it does it.
Yeah.
I'll keep up the attack.
Oh no, I just feel like, for me, the game's narrative and characters, they peaked at Chapter 4 and 5 in a push.
Yeah.
Chapter 7, it just, man.
Nice. That's how you pull off a win.
Yeah.
It's just so weird to hear, man. And I'm sorry if I'm ranting or being really harsh on the game, but it's like, I'm saying it from someone who loves Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 to bit and has I've sung this game's praise pretty much since day one. We've gushed over how good the characters are, how it weaves narrative, quiet moments, heart-to-hearts within narrative, the scope of the game, the size of the environments, the voice acting, the combat, the music, everything. And then slowly but surely it just starts to lose steam, and then when it comes to the tail end, it honestly just feels like Monolith just tipped whatever they had, narrative-wise, just on the floor, the tail end.
Yeah.
It's like they were shaking the box saying, what else have we got in here? Just anything, that'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned before, it felt rushed in Chapter 7 and onwards. I'd even argue Chapter 6 and onwards.
I'm sorry, I still love this game, and it is definitely one of the better Xenoblade games. But man, with the way I was thinking about it, and we said this like early on with Chapter 4 and 5, how we thinking like this game, better than Xenoblade 1. I can't believe we're saying this. It's better than Xenoblade 1.
Yeah.
But now that I'm getting the tail end and I'm not getting as satisfactory of an ending, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's making me change that stance. It's making me consider it. I mean, I've spoken end. I'd love to hear your thoughts, please. Please, honey, the floor's yours.
Well, I would, but I'm in the middle of a battle right now.
Do you want me to switch?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Well, just like I mentioned last episode, just thinking about, like, taking a week after beating the game, I thought more and more about it, how disappointed I was and how it ended, and just comparing it to 1 and 2. Because for me, I summed it up to, like, 1, being the best in pacing, 2, being the best with antagonists, and 3, being the best with the story in terms of the beginning and the middle. So they each have their strengths and weaknesses, so it's honestly hard to pick like a favorite, but 1 and 3 are tied. 1 being like better with the pacing, and 3 being better with characters and gameplay, so it's really hard.
I think for me, and this is partly our fault, and maybe our expectations, one of the things that I feel like really hurts this game, especially with its ending, is the way in which it's almost throwing a curveball for the sake of a curveball. And let me explain. You can have plots that are sometimes predictable, or not really predictable. You can see what the theme is going to be all about, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game sets itself up as like Kebus versus Agnes. There's protagonists. Things are not all they seem. There's things at work that make the world the way it is. And then you think, okay, fine, well, the more's going to be, it's all about unity and working together, and that's going to be the culmination of the game's plot.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be both sides working together, and for Xenoblade players, it's going to be like, oh my god, 1 and 2 are coming together. And I'd like to think Monolith knows this. Like, I mean, for God's sake, why would they have Melia and Nia, characters from both games, be on opposite sides and not have the expectation of, like, they're gonna come together at some point? But then the game's resolution is like, nope, it's all gonna be separated now.
Yeah.
That, to me, it's a very confusing ending and really counterproductive to the entire game, I feel, to the entire narrative.
And I'm gonna be a bit morbid here, but one of the sticking points in 1 and 2 is when we lose people close to us, like in spoilers for both 1 and 2. In 1 we lost Fiora, in 2 we lost Vandam, but in 3 we lost Wamba. Of course, chapter 5 was really strong, but that really was because we thought we lost Neo. But this game being all about a war, you think we lose more. I know that sounds morbid, but deaths can have an impact.
Yeah. I mean, what was the big loss here? Yorin.
Yeah.
The big one... no, I feel like the biggest loss initially is going to be Kamaravi and Uni. But yet, with the context and the feeling of the world, they get brought back immediately, so their big sacrifice is kind of like, oh. And then they it's...
Kamaravi and Ethel.
Yeah. I said Uni, didn't I?
Yeah.
Whoops, my bad. Well... oh no, just the case of having heroic sacrifices doesn't really leave an impact if they're gonna be coming back to life.
Yeah, a lot of the deaths can be said in this game, apart from the consoles. People, say if Uni died, it's she'll come back. It's not much of an impact in that way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just feel like where the game ends, it's counterproductive. I know some people might think, well, Lightning, it's your expectations. Monolith never promised that it would all come together in a nice little package. Then, here's the thing. Why have so many direct references to the other two games if you weren't going to have them come together? Why have architecture from both worlds? Why have characters? Why have references? Why have lore that's built on previous characters building the place as is?
Even Origin was disappointing because in this game's context, I thought it was going to be a literal arc. And this is probably just me having high expectations, but I was expecting to find Easter eggs in there because Nia said that that's a project that she and Melia worked on, so I figured there'd be Easter eggs in there, or maybe like just any reference to like Noah's Ark. But it's just samey. It's nowhere near as impactful as Prison Island or the World Tree were.
I mean, with Easter eggs, I mean, maybe you can consider that to be like what Zed turned it into, so to speak. But to your point, though, it still should have had something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like the ending needed one more rewrite.
Yeah.
It did.
Or at least an extension of some kind. But I worry, like you mentioned before, that it was due to it being a bit rushed because of Splatoon.
Yeah. Oh. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean this episode to be on the negative side. It's like, Xenoblade Chronicles is a great series and having great stories. And it just seems to have, like, for me, it feels like it just decided to not have a nice ending. I won't say nice ending, but a very, like, a...
Impactful?
Well, I won't say impactful, but a more satisfying ending just for the sake of having a twist, so to speak. Having a tragic ending, like, oh yeah, the characters in which you know and love, they're not together. They're going to be torn apart because of worlds. Yeah, I know, it's not satisfying for the journey and not a happy ending per se, but... Oh no, it just... I feel the ending went out with a whimper more than a bang.
Yeah, from the things I've read, we're really not the only one that's had that.
Good. But I think though, guys, we're going to end things off here. So, thank you very much for watching, and hey, do you agree with what we said on our ending, our thoughts of the ending? Let us know in the comments below. But until then, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then please be sure to like it, and of course, if you want to follow us on this Xenoblade Chronicles, please join us then, as I'm able to subscribe to see more, and we'll see you next time. In which, will we have more thoughts and feelings about this game? Who knows? Until then,
Whatever happened to not being careless?
see you next time. Oh yeah, and also, Nia, level 20. Yay. See you next time.